3 types of energy that fuels and triggers your anxiety. Anxiety can be incredibly debilitating, sucking the fun out of everything and keeping you awake at night with worries. The physical manifestations are as challenging as the mental aspects. For example, excessive sweating, stomach cramps, and heart palpitations can create a negative cycle of ever-increasing anxiety. If you're prone to suffering in this way, it can interfere with your ability to use the law of attraction properly. Consequently, this can make it hard to vibrate on a happy, abundant frequency. However, there are things you can do to help yourself. While every case of anxiety is different, look out for these 3 types of anxiety-fueling energies. Remember the following tips for dealing with them next time you find yourself stressed. 1. Sensitive energy anxiety. Unfortunately, it's common for people with high levels of empathy and finely honed intuitive faculties to struggle with anxiety. If this sounds like you, it's likely that you're constantly invaded by the energy of others. This sometimes leads to anxiety because this energy itself is nervous in nature. At other times it's more like a case of mental overload. You become anxious because you're overwhelmed by what you're picking up from others. To combat sensitive energy anxiety, give some thought to how much time you spend in social situations. Even if you don't consider yourself an introvert, it's probable that you need to rest and recharge after significant interactions with others. In addition, consider whether your empathy and compassion lead you to devote too much of your emotional resources to others in order to meet their needs. It's okay to say no when you're overloaded, and it's actually healthy to put yourself first sometimes. This is how you grow and develop into the best and happiest version of yourself. Plus, in the end, this only increases how much you're able to give back to the universe. Finally, make sure you have an outlet for your emotions, whether that's a personal journal or a therapist. 2. Future energy anxiety. Another typical type of anxiety is associated with overthinking and a potent imagination. Do you find your mind racing a mile a minute as you try to figure out what you'll do in every possible chain of events? And do most of these thoughts revolve around worst-case scenarios? If you're nodding right now, you likely suffer from future energy anxiety. You may find it really tough to deal with the knowledge that you can't control everything. In addition, you may find it particularly hard to make decisions, as you can never be absolutely certain that you're doing the right thing. To get on top of your future energy anxiety, focus on finding consistent and effective ways to truly relax the mind. This will reduce your chances of getting swept away on a sea of anxious thoughts. For example, try finding another outlet for that brilliant imagination of yours. Painting, writing and making music are all great creative outlets. Meanwhile, use meditations and mindfulness techniques to anchor yourself in the present moment and work to let go of the things you can't change. 3. Ascension energy anxiety. The third most common form of anxiety is the type that comes up in response to shifting energy in your life. This might be evoked by changes beyond your control, e.g. health difficulties, aging or loss. However, it's important to note that it can also be triggered by positive changes that you are directing, such as those created by manifestation techniques. So, if your law of attraction journey is making you anxious even though you're creating things you want, you're not alone. This is the nature of ascension energy anxiety. The best way of dealing with this particular type of anxiety partly depends on the kind of change that is causing you. However, the general message is that you'll benefit from learning to trust the process of growth and accepting that the universe is always sending you where you need to go. Grounding yourself in the appreciation of simple pleasures can be helpful here. For example, you might go on a daily walk where your only goal is to notice beauty in nature. Some people also find it helpful to channel their ascension energy anxiety into something physical, such as running or dancing. A general note about anxiety: everyone experiences anxiety slightly differently. In most cases, it has a definitive, partly external cause that can at least partly be addressed in the ways noted above. That being said, it's important to seek advice from your doctor if anxiety is making your life a misery. If your attempts to practice self-care haven't yielded tangible improvements, be sure to get more advice. In some cases, you may have an underlying condition that can be helpfully treated by meditation. Or, you may benefit from therapy that focuses specifically on changing subconscious attitudes and assumptions. There are also a range of natural remedies for anxiety too. Want some more tips and resources on using the law of attraction? Download our free toolkit today to discover all the missing pieces need to start your journey. Link in description.